The views expressed on contacttalkradio.com are those of the guest hosts and callers, and not necessarily of this station, its management, or other advertisers.
This is contacttalkradio.com, consciousness in action, and you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on tunein.com, King.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
Welcome to Conversations with Deeple, a medical intuitive and master healer. Deeple will help you expand your self-awareness, awaken your body to heal, and take you on a journey to higher spiritual levels. With all-encompassing powerful lessons, practical tools, and top insights, learn to overcome the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that keep you stuck. Each week, you will get a mind, body, and soul makeover, helping you step into your power and the life of your dreams. Welcome your host, Deeple Shah.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome to Conversations with Deeple. I am your host, Deeple Shah. On this podcast, every week, we talk about what is your body telling you through symptoms. Does the body have deeper messages for you, and are you only looking on the surface? I'm so excited to be here. And for those of you who are joining today's episode, we are going to talk about how your unconscious mind is causing your suffering. But before we do that, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank my followers, my supporters, those that like me and follow me. So I just do want to connect with you today. If you have any questions or comments that you would like to share live, please do call in to 844-390-8255. As I'll be taking callers towards the end of the call, I would love to hear from you and what you have to say. So please do call in. Now, you can also listen to this podcast at deepleshah.info or ananda4life.com. And you can listen to this podcast there, or you could join us at CTR Network Facebook page and catch me live. Before we dive into today's topic, let me introduce myself to those of you who may not know me. My name is Deeple, and I help people around the world heal their chronic and acute health issues as a medical intuitive, coach, and author. I love doing what I do now, especially because before I was selling pharmaceutical drugs. And now I'm pushing energy healing. And so by the way, if you would like to experience an energy healing session with me, go to my website, ananda4life.com or deepleshah.info, and grab a spot to an online healing retreat that is happening on September 28th. It is a 4-hour healing retreat that is going to be myself and my students who will be conducting the healings. So you don't want to miss out. It's very powerful, very profound, amazing healings do happen during that time. And it is a great way to experience energy healing and the power of it. So do come join me. I would love to have you there. So just go to ananda4life.com or deepleshah.info, and you could just click on the events page. Now let's dive into today's topic. How your unconscious mind is leading to your own suffering. And you may be thinking, well, I'm always conscious. I'm not suffering. But I know everybody suffers from one thing or another. Maybe not within your health. Maybe you're suffering in other areas. Maybe it's relationships. Maybe it's other things in life, your career. Maybe it's finances. So I'm not talking about, when I talk about the unconscious mind, I'm not talking about a state of unconsciousness. where you lose consciousness through some form of trauma. I'm speaking about consciousness of life. So let's talk about the meaning of consciousness so that you can understand. Because everybody has a different meaning to it. But this is how I will explain my definition of consciousness. What it means to me is a heightened state of awareness, heightened state of awakeness, self-realization of all the things around you, all the moments that you're a part of, which is every minute of your life here on earth, and missing nothing, accepting everything as one consciousness. What's happening is that you're disassociated with your body. You're not your mind and you're not your body, and you have to realize that. And once you realize that, you'll see that everything looks different. See, you're in a state of being, a light, a frequency, a vibration. And that's when you start feeling one with everything around you and everyone. There wouldn't be this separation. And speaking of separation, there would also not be attachments. That's tough. You know, because we are these human beings, we have these attachments, which come along with emotions and thoughts and feelings. And that's why sometimes you're not able to run your life in a conscious state. You have to realize that there is no attachment. Everything just is. And that is when you are most conscious. Many of you may be thinking, oh yeah, I'm not attached to anything. I'm pretty flexible. What if I didn't give you your coffee this morning? What would happen to most of you? Would you feel like you're dying? Because that's how most people feel. If I don't have my coffee, my day just doesn't go. Do you call that flexibility? Or do you call it an attachment? Because you'll start seeing that you start having physical symptoms because of your attachment. You start becoming more emotional. You won't be able to move through your day, let alone have mood swings, energy swings. There'll be shifts in your energy. You'll probably feel like crap. You'll start having these reactions to other people and things around you that you normally don't have, because your entire nervous system will be crashing, or it feels like it is. And I'm not joking. I want you to try it for one day and let me know how that goes for you. Because I have seen people, it's almost, you know, we have these addictions, this compulsiveness, this behavior that we cannot shift. And that's where we are stuck in the physicality of life, because your external environment is affecting your consciousness. And of course, this comes from your upbringing, from your culture, from your religion, from your family members, from your ancestors. It comes from everything because it's recorded in every piece of yourself, every piece of your being. So everything gets affected. It affects your consciousness. Now, how do you want to live your life? What habits and attachments have you created? So if I start switching things around for you throughout your day, most people are not going to be happy. They're going to be very angry rather than going with the flow. Life is all about going with the flow. How many times do you hear that or see it posted somewhere? Go with the flow. Life is all about going with the flow of life. Yet nobody really dives down into that meaning. What does it really mean, going with the flow? I just took your coffee away. You're not going to go with the flow, right? But it's time to go with the flow, guys. And that's why I'm here today, to share with you how you can go with the flow of life. So I want you to recognize, how conscious are you right now in your life? Your inner and outer states of your being are the same at this time. And we want to break free from that. So take a good look at your life for just this very moment right now. Are you living each and every minute with awareness, with livelihood? Are you living and admiring everything around you, from the steps, every step that you take on earth, all the trees you pass, all the food you eat, the seat that you're sitting on? Maybe there's a beautiful flower on your desk. Maybe there's a family picture on your desk that you haven't noticed for years because it's been the same picture all these years. Or is your head stuck in work, pain, dis-ease, disease, hurt, grief, resentment, the past? Are you living in the past, or are you living in the future? Where are you right now? It's time to come in the present, because all these things are not helping you live consciously. It's actually causing suffering and suffocation. You know, even now, I have never seen such high levels of stress. They've gone way beyond. And everybody's looking for stress management, self-improvement techniques, but nobody's applying it. And if they are, it's very momentarily. Why? Why do that to yourself when you can live? Take simple techniques that I share with you, and you can catch all my other techniques on many other episodes. So just go to deepalshaw.info, and you could click on the podcast page, and you will see that within each episode, I will share different techniques with you so that you can live consciously. Because right now, not many people are. I think 99.9% of us are walking around unconscious. And I'll tell you, because I thought this was funny. I've been noticing this for a while. My husband, he's always thinking, okay? He's always, and I see this in people that are very analytical, and I used to be one of them. It was black or white and nothing in between, you know? but just very analytical minds. And he's always thinking about what the next step is. You know, for example, I'll watch him driving. That's a fun time to people watch when you're sitting in the passenger side. And just watch the driver, okay? And my husband, whether he's driving or washing dishes or whatever he's doing, unless he's watching TV, he is in this deep thought process. Either he won't hear what I said or what the kids said or what conversation is going on around the table. But every time I ask him, what are you thinking about? There's never a time that he says, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just washing the dishes, or I'm just driving, enjoying the scenery. Never do I hear him saying that. And if he does, I definitely call it bluff, because I could see the body, the way it reacts. Okay, if you ever watch somebody's body language, right, you'll see maybe they're nodding their head, or maybe they're moving their lips, but nothing's coming out. Okay, maybe they're making faces, but you have no idea why they look so silly, right? So rarely will he even say, I was thinking about nothing. I was just enjoying this experience. And how many times do you say that I'm just enjoying this experience? I think it's time for us to start saying that and reminding ourselves. You know, if you're constantly running in your mind, you're also running in your life. You're running away from something. You're running away from the present. Don't do that to yourself. It's not worth it for your body, for your mental mind, right? Your mental state. It is just not worth it. Here's something else that I have watched. And it's the need to speak. If you ever go somewhere and it's just you and your friend, or you and your spouse, or you and a boyfriend, whoever, you and your kids, you'll notice there's not a moment of silence. Why is that? Why can't we be comfortable in the silence where there's so much conscious activity going on between two bodies and two minds? It is amazing. I love silence. I really do. Even though I may be here at work each and every day, talking to people, helping them with their health issues. And even when my family comes home, my daughter gets in the car, I love silence. Yeah, I love knowing how her day went too. But I don't feel like I need to keep a conversation going and just talk nonsense. My mouth does not need to be running all the time. So what if you can stop having diarrhea of the mind and the mouth? What if you can actually have thoughts, but they were more conscious thoughts, focused thoughts, thoughts that you may enjoy having? You know, I like that. I enjoy my thoughts because they're pleasant now, because I'm making this conscious effort. I'm living in the consciousness rather than that unconscious mind that's just rambling on and on and on and running the same record again and again and again. So you have to create an atmosphere, your environment, inside and outside of you, has to switch. We have to turn the default mode off and get into the space of nothing. Just imagine doing that. You know, I don't know how many of you realize this, but each and every day that you talk to people, you know, there's either a mental disease or a health disease going on. Yet they do not realize this. So if you want to have a better life and a better experience of life, to start with coming out of that unconscious, sleeping, daydreaming mind of yours. I don't know if you know this, but we as human beings use less than 1% of our conscious mind. Most of the time, you're just in this sleep state. So it's time to wake up. But this is your choice. My job is to bring this to your attention so that you can make this choice, not only for you, but the people around you. People walk around like mummies nowadays, right? That's what cell phones are doing to people. I saw this lady just the other day trying to cross the street in a parking lot. And her face was down in her phone the whole time. A car was going by, coming. It almost hit her because the car was going too fast, thought that she was going to stop. She didn't. Luckily, that car stopped. She didn't even realize the car was coming. And I couldn't believe my eyes. And she got mad at the car. I was like, wow, amazing. Amazing. So here's another story that you may be able to relate to when I speak about the unconscious mind and how the brain works. So I remember when I was a young girl, my mom, as we're walking out the door, my mom would grab her purse, grab whatever else she needed, and then she'd ask us where the keys were. And I'm like, I don't know, you put them somewhere. How do I know? Right? We would spend 20 to 30 minutes looking for a key that she left in her purse, or pocket, or in the car. Yet she has no recollection of it. And till this day, she does the same thing. So she has not changed. And some people just will not. Okay, they choose not to become conscious of every action, everything that they do. You know, we do not recollect where we put things because we do it unconsciously. If you do it consciously, you can actually remember right away. You know, you can go back in your mind and play the scene again as to where could I have left my key. I walked in the door, I put it on the desk, and it should be there, right? But when you do it by habit, see, this is all about habit. We have this habit. You know, you put your keys on the desk, and all of a sudden, if you put them somewhere else, you're screwed, and so is everyone else, because now we're all shuffling everything in the house to find your keys. I used to be that way too, you know, and I've gotten so much better at becoming and being more conscious because I've chosen to do so. I don't want to suffer. I don't want to sit there and try to find my keys for a half hour because I could be doing something else for that half hour and making a difference in somebody's life or my own life, right? Every moment counts. Every moment here on earth counts. So use it consciously, because you're walking around unconsciously. You're running into obstacles and bumps in your life. It's like those road bumps, right? And then you don't understand why. Maybe you're dealing with relationship problems, health problems, career, financial issues. All of this, consciousness and your conscious mind and your conscious being. You know, I know I've been doing some experiments on consciousness and unconsciousness, and I realized that those words are misused and thrown around a lot. But it's not something that we should take lightly, because we as humans have this amazing, amazing gift that we have been given, that no other species has been given, this gift of intelligence. The mind, which is so powerful, such an amazing process and program. And we have an opportunity to live as a conscious being, but yet we manage to take advantage of that by shutting it off. And you know, I hear it again and again, where people keep saying, I wish I could shut my mind off. Why would you want that? That's like saying, I wish I could turn my heart off. Would you want your heart to turn off? Probably not. Then why would you want your mind to turn off? It's time to manage your mind, take control of it again, but it doesn't need to be turned off. What you need to do is turn off those habits that you've already created. And if you want to be comfortable, you want to be more peaceful, which most of us do. And that's why I'm sharing all this information with you. So if you really want to experience consciousness, a group consciousness, come join me on September 28th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern for an online healing retreat. Because if you want to feel the frequency and the vibration and what consciousness feels like, this is definitely the place to be. So go sign up at ananda4life.com or look up Deepal Shah, and you can sign up under events. You will be happy you did. You don't want to miss this. If you want to live your life consciously, you have to learn. You got to give it time. You got to be patient and practice. I know you can do it. I did it. And you'll see all the things that you actually are missing out on once you realize it. It's that self-realization. You know, now there's so much talk about self-realization, people wanting to experience it. Well, if you do, come join me. Let me teach you how. Let me get you started on your self-realization and help you live your life. You can decide if you want to hide in the past and the future, or you can decide to live in the now. And I'll tell you, it's not an easy thing to do, because if I told you it was easy, there would be so many of us, you know, and so many people that I know that would be doing it. There wouldn't be all these shootings. There wouldn't be all these wars. There wouldn't be fights between countries if we were doing that. There wouldn't be any bullying in school if we can teach our kids this. And living consciously affects every part of your life, every part of your being. Because guess what? You're happy when you are living consciously because you're appreciating everything around you and you see it as one. You're not seeing it as something separate. You're not separating yourself from you and a flower, you and your mother-in-law, you and your mom, your siblings. There are many authors that have written about living in the now, and one of them that I do love is Eckhart Tolle. And he has that book called The Power of Now. And if you haven't read it, I do highly recommend that. That'll be a great, great book to start reading. So I want you to take time to notice things. Notice the trees, the plants, the grass, the insects. Notice water that you drink each and every day. Everything around you has consciousness. But you are the only one who wastes it, puts it to waste. It's like if you love candy and you only eat half of it and then you throw the rest of it away, it's like that. Okay? Don't waste your consciousness. Consciousness meaning your awareness, your knowing, your in-depth connection with everything around you. Think about how much you've missed already. I'm about to turn 44, and you know what? I refuse to miss any more than I have. So I have already decided to make that shift, that transformation, and it is beautiful. And that's why I'm here, to teach you to do the same. Don't become victims of your intelligence. It's time to stop. Take a breath, take a moment, and just allow. Because consciousness has an awareness that is just so profound and powerful that you could feel it in every cell of your body. And when you do, you can change the way your body functions. Imagine the tremendous healing that comes from just awakening to your consciousness. Imagine the power it gives you in every decision that you make in your life, in your career, at home, in your relationships, and all other areas of your life. That is what consciousness helps you achieve. Look at all the conscious decisions you've made up till now. How have they helped you be more focused, manifest the things that you want in life? But the percentage of consciousness that you bring in your life is very minimal. You know, sometimes, well, before I would go to an art gallery, and I didn't go to many, but when I would literally walk in and then walk out. The reason being is because I couldn't see what an artist was seeing. I was like, oh, that's just another painting. I could have done that. But I really can't. You know, I didn't understand the depth, the essence, the vibration, that they were actually seeing when they painted this beautiful painting. And I guarantee you that they took the time to become one with what they were seeing. You know, they see things differently. Why can't you do the same? Why can't you see it the way they see it? Is it because you like to just walk right past it like I used to? You know, look at the things in life that you walk right past and not even notice. I'll tell my kids all the time, did you not see that piece of paper on the floor that you just dropped? Or it's been there for 5 days now, right? They're like, oh, I didn't see it. Of course not. Of course not, because we're walking right past life. So imagine all the things that you're missing out on. You know, as a child, you know, especially 3, 4, 5 years old, you are mesmerized by everything around you. You're so conscious of everything. And that's why children ask, why? And then your mom might say, oh, can you stop asking why? Right? Basically, she's telling you just accept it the way it is. Well, that is what shut down your consciousness. And so I'm helping you to reawaken, because it's time to ask why again. Okay? You're so consumed in your mind, in your life, that you don't know how to live it anymore. And you don't even ask why anymore. Because you're like, okay, it is what it is, right? How many times do you hear people say that? It is what it is. It's not. So there, for you to live consciously, find out more about things. Don't get away from life. Start living it rather than drowning in it, getting stuck in it, suffering in it. I hear it every single day. Every single day, I'm stuck. I feel like I'm suffocating. You know, life is not meant to suffer. It is the best thing that we have been given. It's a gift. This weekend, we're driving in the car and we were going to Atlanta. And so my family and I, you know, we're just sitting there, and I'm just sitting, you know, quietly. And my daughter's on her phone and she goes, Mom, there's an app. And I said, really? She said, there's an app for happiness. And I said, really? And I said, what kind of app is that? Because I just bursted out laughing. I was like, are you kidding me? It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And she says, yeah, it measures how happy you are and if you're happy. And I'm like, what? So in my mind, I'm like, wow, we need an app now to tell us how happy we are. So now we're giving our happiness to an app. This is not healthy at all. It's almost like those mood rings. I used to like them as a child. I thought they were fun. Okay. But this app is really, and I know there's a mood app too. I don't know. I think it's way beyond what I think it should be. We don't need these apps. I mean, I'm sure there's somewhere There's probably an app that tells you how conscious you are too. I wouldn't be surprised, I guess, at this point. We have all the answers within us, inside each and every one of us, but yet we're depending on these apps to tell us how we're feeling. I mean, doesn't that sound ridiculous to you? We're letting something else validate our consciousness. We are becoming robots. Let's shift back to becoming humans. We have such great potential. Let's access that potential once again. I look at the Tesla cars, and you can actually put the car on self-drive. And the brain reminds me of that at this moment in history, that everybody's brain is on self-drive. It's like a Tesla programming in the brain, autopilot. And your brain is on autopilot. So when are you going to stop driving on autopilot in your life? I don't want you to have something happen to you to come to this realization, which is when most people realize how precious their life is, and they start living in the moment once a major accident or some kind of trauma happens. I want you to recognize it now in this moment, because you're here, you're living, you're well, and get out of that autopilot mode. Because each and every day you realize it's not a smooth ride through your day. You're hitting all these different variables and you're reacting to them differently. And some of them you react the same way, right? When you're brushing your teeth, you're on autopilot. It just happens. But did you actually take the brush in your hands, look at the bristles, take the toothpaste, really just acknowledge the fact that this action is happening. And how cool it is that it happens every day. And so why are people performing the actions of life unconsciously? I was examining why that happens. And it's because, number one, habit. Number two, beliefs. Number three, they're unmotivated. Number four, they're unwilling to be flexible. Number five, they have no more desires. Number six, they're in pain. Number seven, they're focused on what is missing in their life rather than admiring what is. Number eight, they're focused on the future. Number nine, they're focused on the past. And number 10, which is the number one reason, is because people have literally lost their minds. Like, it's gone. Okay? So I want you to make a list of the things you do consciously and watch how small that list is. Then I want you to make a list of the things that you do unconsciously. That list is going to be a lot longer. I can guarantee you it'll be pages longer. And that's where you can start your transformation. I watch my dog, Jasmine, every single morning. You know, she's not as intelligent as we are as humans, but yet she's my teacher. Because there is one thing that she's teaching me that I keep revisiting, and that is how to be conscious. Because she'll walk outside, she'll go outside first thing in the morning, she'll run to the door. And she'll go outside, she'll take a moment and inhale so deeply. And it's like she's inhaling her environment, right? Because dogs sense everything through smell. And it's like she's sensing her environment in such a deep way that she knows everything about it within seconds of inhaling. And it's like she's saying, thank you, universe. Thank you, God, for allowing me to be here today. And then she goes on and does her business. And I used to be like, let's go, Jasmine, we gotta go, because I'm running out the door with the kids to get them to school. And so I stopped telling her that just because I didn't want to take that time and smell the consciousness around me, open up my mind, open up my channels, doesn't mean I shouldn't let her take her time, because it's like taking something away from her. So she's actually taught me to walk outside and take a nice deep breath in the morning. So try that. The other day, I burnt my hand. This woke me up on so many levels. And I'm telling you these stories because about myself and my family, because I feel like, you know, there are more times of unconsciousness sometimes, even though I'm working on it, I find myself doing these things that awaken me to even more consciousness, which is the most beautiful thing. So burning my hand was great. It didn't feel great at the time, but my goodness, I thought I was going to die. My husband's like, can I take you to the ER? I'm like, no. I had made all these preparations just so I don't burn my hand after putting a pot in the oven at 450 degrees. I took it out of the oven when it was done, and I realized that the side handle of this pot was poking out. I had put it the wrong way on the stove. So of course, I close the oven door, I turn around, and I'm thinking to myself, really quick, and this process happened so quickly, oh, let me move the handle before somebody gets hurt. And I put my entire right hand on that handle, and oh my goodness, I didn't know what to do with myself at that point. And this happened so quickly because I was asleep just for that split second. Yet I had made all these preparations beforehand. And also it was a habit. See, I never put the pot in the oven. I always cook on the stove. So now that I did something different, guess what? I was awakened. I was definitely awakened. I learned so much over the next 2 days. And I don't want you to burn through life. So come join me September 28th for this amazing online healing retreat, folks. Let me help you. Check out the event at ananda4life.com, or just look up deepalshah.info and just go to the events tab. It's time to find liberation and break free from our bondages. So for the next 20 minutes, when you're done with watching this episode or listening to this episode, I want you to take 20 to 30 minutes to recognize all the things around you and not miss one single thing or person. I want you to notice everything in your environment for a full 20 to 30 minutes. See how conscious you are. Actually, it'll make you realize how unconscious you are. So it's time to awaken to the light that you are. And I can help you do that. So take these tips and tools that I've shared with you today and use them to help you become more conscious. You are the light. You are this beautiful light being. The more you realize this, the more you will see miracles all around you. And so I'm going to leave you with that. So if you're listening to this podcast, I want to thank you for playing or downloading my podcast. I would love it if you could share this podcast with others. Do your friends and family a favor and share this, because this is how we're going to change lives all around the world and help others open up to their consciousness too. It is time to awaken, self-realize, and be in the flow of life. Make that choice now. And I want to thank you again. You can catch the replay here at CPR Network. You can also catch the replay at Ananda4life.com under the podcast page. If you'd like to connect with me, you can do so at Ananda4life.com and just go to the Contact Us page. I will see you all next Monday, as I have an amazing speaker coming on next week. And so we're going to talk more energy. And I will see you all then. Thank you so much. Namaste.